Part 3 of Full Court Press Basketball Debate, March 2nd, 2015. What a great debate we have going on right now. LeBron James becomes the all-time leader in assists for front court players. In case we don't know what that means, a front court player is a small forward, a power forward, or a center. Okay? Point guard and shooting guard are in the backcourt. LeBron James passed Scottie Pippen on the assist total for front court players. Now is the leader in front court players all time. Yvonne, first of all, that's well deserved. What does this accomplishment show you?
Oh, how good the man is. How good the man is. He's awesome. I mean, I would not want to be standing under the goal and LeBron is charging towards me dribbling that ball. Okay? Get out of the way. He's good.
Well, I'm going to sum it up real quick for you.
There isn't anything to say. I think it's wonderful. It's well-deserved, and congratulations.
You want to talk about an ultimate teammate. Okay? Really? Come on.
He has grown and matured a lot.
This guy.
Let's be honest now.
I was talking to a couple of guys at work about this, and the one thing I kept saying, this man's a hybrid. This man can play 4 positions. I don't know a lot of guys that can play 4 positions and play them well. Okay? Magic, LeBron, Kobe can play 3. I wouldn't say 4. Okay?
Michael could
play 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Okay? Come on.
Depending on the team that was
This guy,
against.
LeBron's a top 10 player all time right now.
Yeah. But let's not forget, when he left Cleveland the first time, this is not the same LeBron that's back in Cleveland now.
It's not.
Okay? Ego, mentality, maturity, skill set. He has grown in every way. He demonstrated that on the floor the other night.
Toronto's Kyle Lowry on the recent struggles. Quote, "I'm trash." Yvonne, your thoughts?
I have no idea. I didn't know about this, and what did he mean? How was it said?
That's what I'm asking. They were obviously in a press conference.
In context.
I mean, Toronto has clearly fallen off the map a little bit lately. Okay?
They've lost a couple of games.
They've lost a lot of games recently. Okay? That they should not have lost.
And you mean to tell me Kyle Lowry is taking all of this responsibility on all by himself?
Is that what this comes off?
I'm trash?
That's what I'm asking you.
Well, that's what it sounds like. The poor guy's blaming himself for everything. Hey, there's no I in team. There is no I in team. If that's what he's doing, it's going to show on that floor. If he's going to blame himself for everything that's going wrong, it's going to show on the floor. And shame on him for doing that. Now, if he's legitimately the only one who's screwing up, but I can think of several moves Toronto's made lately out there on the court where it's not all Kyle Lowry.
That's the way you're taking this?
Well, how should I take it? I don't want the guy to blame himself for everything.
I'm taking this as the fact that Kyle Lowry is the lone all-star on this Toronto Raptors team. Therefore, he is the leader of this team. So that means he knows in his mind that it starts with him. And he knows that his play recently has been trashy. Okay? And if his play is trashy, let's think about how big of a role Kyle Lowry plays on this Toronto team. Not only is he the leader, not only is he the lone all-star, Yvonne, he's the point guard. And your play starts with the point guard. Okay? He's taking responsibility for his recent play. He's taking responsibility and saying, you know what? I've been trash lately.
Okay. That's an awful big load and burden to put on your own shoulders.
It is, but I admire it.
Oh, I'm not saying I don't respect him for
I
saying
admire it because
but I hope that's going to screw with his head.
I hope it's either going to screw with his head.
Or it's going to make it
That's
so
right.
much better.
That's right.
Well, then we have to hope for his sake
I love it.
that it doesn't screw him up.
I mean, I'm not going to say he's trash. I think that's very harsh because if you're an
Well,
all-star,
that's my point.
if you're an all-star, you're not trash, okay?
No.
But he's being hard on himself. Maybe he is, but maybe that's his attitude. Hell, Toronto's not a bad team, let's be honest.
No kidding.
Okay, and Kyle Lowry, pretty good.
Yeah.
He's pretty good. Kevin Garnett on his return to Minnesota, quote, "If LeBron can go home, why can't I?"
Who said he couldn't?
A lot of people were scrutinizing him for going back to Minnesota.
Well, then shame on him.
Why would you go back to Minnesota? They're losing. Yada 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 yada. Your thoughts on the quote?
Shame on the people that made him feel that way.
Bing.
Shame on the people that made him feel that way. Can we go back in time a little bit and remember that when LeBron left Cleveland, they burned his jersey? Right? Oh my God, how much trash talk was there about LeBron when he left Cleveland the first time? Hey, when it was time for him to go back, they wanted him back with open arms. Right?
Yeah.
And look what he's doing now. A happy person is a more productive person. I don't give a damn if you're the trash collector or if you're an all-star or if you're the leading, you just won the Super Bowl and you're the leading quarterback. Okay? If you're John, if Steve Jobs, who ran Apple, I don't care who you are. If you're happy, you're going to be more productive, you're going to be more successful, and you're going to do a better job and make everybody around you happier because happiness is infectious, just like unhappiness is. If somebody walks in that door and they're pissed off and they're in a bad mood and they're just a miserable person, unhappy with their life, it has a tendency to rub off on every aspect of your life. LeBron's happy now. He's home. It shows. Kevin is entitled to be happy. Why isn't Kevin entitled to be happy? He's as entitled to be happy as anybody. If going to Minnesota makes him happy, I say, good.
I don't see why everybody is not understanding that for once in his career, everything Kevin Garnett has done in his career so far has been about him. Okay? Him being drafted to Minnesota, him staying there for 12 years, that was home for him. He signed 3 contracts with Minnesota in his first stint. Okay? He had the rookie contract, and they re-signed him to 5 years, and they re-signed him to another 5.
He grew up on that team.
He did that not for the Minnesota Timberwolves because not once when he was over there, except in 2003, when he won his MVP award, were they in a position to win a championship. He didn't do that for the team. He did that for himself.
Right.
When he signed with Boston in 2007.
You mean unselfishly for himself. He was comfortable and happy. He
but he did it. The priority.
That home.
The priority was himself.
Right.
Okay. When he signed with Boston in 2007, very unexpectedly, he did that for his legacy, for himself. When he signed with Brooklyn, he did that for himself. He went back to Minnesota a week ago, not only for himself, but for that young team, and for the fans, and for his family. For once, Kevin Garnett is doing something for somebody besides himself.
Okay.
And I don't see why that's so hard for the general public to grasp. I am 199% behind this quote. I love it.
I agree.
I love it.
I agree.
Mark.
And let's be perfectly honest. Go and give out 1,000 tickets.
That too.
Okay?
That's not for him.
Being involved with the community.
He didn't buy 1,000 tickets for himself. He's got a one-way ticket.
Being involved with the community, you see,
Come on.
They showed clips of him at the Boys and Girls Club, giving out T-shirts and all that. If the man is happy, the man's going to be a better player. Let's be perfectly honest here.
Mark Cuban, Dallas Mavericks owner, quote, "Everybody is for the schedule going later." What this means is an extended schedule. There are talks about how the schedule is going to change next year.
Yeah, what's his name?
Mark
Been
Cuban,
talking about
yeah,
that.
Adam Silver. Mark Cuban says everybody is for the schedule going later. I know this is very, very not worded
Generic.
correctly. Okay,
Right.
What he means by this is an extended schedule over a longer period of time. Same amount of games.
The season would last longer.
Correct.
So they wouldn't be playing back-to-back games. Maybe there wouldn't be so many injuries.
Yvonne.
Maybe there wouldn't be. I am so in favor of
Are
it.
you for this? Why or
Yeah.
why not?
I just told you why. By the end of the season, these guys are dead. It starts and everybody's healthy. It starts and nobody's hurt.
New Orleans is playing 3 games in 4 nights tonight.
Okay?
Be 3 games in 4 nights.
Are you kidding me? And they're not all at home. And if they're on the road, you get on a plane, you have to travel, you have to deal with the weather, you have to go to a hotel room, you have to go practice on a court that's not yours, you have to go back to the hotel, you have to go and put, oh, come on. I have been saying for years that it's either too many games
Or it's over too short of a period of time.
or it's over too short a period of time. By the time the All-Star break, I mean, it started this year even earlier than last year with people being hurt. I'm not just talking about a sore finger or a bruised toe. I'm talking about Achilles tears. I'm talking about people being so sick they end up in the hospital.
You can make an all-star lineup with the people that are injured right now.
Absolutely.
I have been keeping up with the NBA for close to 15 years now. This is the smartest thing Mark Cuban has ever said.
It's the smartest thing they could ever do.
It is. Kendrick Perkins, we know he got traded to Utah and then they bought out his contract and he signed with Cleveland. Well, he was debating Cavs or the Clippers. And he says he went to the Cavs instead of the Clippers, quote, because of LeBron. Yvonne, is this fair? And does this make sense to you? Why or why not?
Very simple. No, it's not fair, but from his point of view, absolutely. Because he wants a ring.
Why is it not fair?
Well, it's not fair that that's the only reason that he win is so that he can get a ring. But I understand, before you jump on me, I understand with tunnel vision, that's the ultimate goal that every basketball player in the NBA wants. They want to win a ring. Just like every football player wants to win the Super Bowl. I get that. Okay? But did he have to say it like that?
Yes.
Then if he doesn't have a problem saying it, I don't have a problem hearing
This is
it.
totally fair. Because
That's exactly why.
if I'm 35 years old, as Kendrick Perkins is, okay?
I
don't think this is totally about the ring. Is that the main goal? Absolutely, as it should be. But I think he legitimately wanted to go to Cleveland because I want to play with LeBron.
Uh-huh.
I want to experience that.
Uh-huh. Who
Because
wouldn't?
let's be honest, the
Who
greatest
wouldn't?
teammate that Kendrick Perkins has ever played with was Paul Pierce. And that's not a knock on Paul Pierce by
No.
any means, but you're talking 2 different eras.
Yeah.
You're talking 2 different players.
Yeah.
Okay? LeBron, I'm not comparing them, but it's the same thing as somebody saying, I'm going to Chicago because of Michael.
Right.
I'm going to Los Angeles because of Kobe. I'm going to New York because of
Who
Carmelo.
wouldn't go play with Kobe?
Exactly. This is totally fair. I love this.
I do too.
The NBA has lost 3 legends, 2 to death, 1 to retirement.
Yeah.
Rip Hamilton, longtime Detroit Piston, retired a couple days ago. He was an NCAA champion at UConn. He won that title in 04 with the Pistons with Ben Wallace and Rasheed Wallace and the great Chauncey Billups and all those guys.
Congratulations on his retirement.
I mean, you deserve it, Rip. You had a fantastic career. And then 2 of the NBA's greatest personalities passed away over the past week. We had Anthony Mason, who was a longtime player in the league, played with 6 or 7 different teams. He passed away at the age of 48, which is way too soon.
Yeah. But he was suffering.
He had congestive heart failure. He went into the hospital,
Yeah.
had multiple surgeries, and then
Yeah.
his body just gave out.
Yeah.
Anthony, and to your family, you
Our
are
deepest
missed.
condolences.
You are missed. You are loved. Your personality is missed on the floor. I watched Anthony Mason. The guy had such a great personality. As the guy was a great teammate. Was always laughing. Was always. I mean, he was high-fiving opponents. Come on. I mean, you go back and watch highlights of Anthony Mason in his prime. This guy's high-fiving opponents. I mean, come on. What more can you ask for in a teammate? Okay? And then Earl Lloyd, the first African-American player in the NBA. Earl Lloyd, the first African-American player in the NBA, passed away. Look, I'm not... I love you. I'm not my boy Stephen A. Smith. I'm not going to play this whole race card thing. I'm not... He broke the race barrier, and that's great.
Mm-hmm. But that's not why he was picked to be a ball player.
Come on. I mean, it's great that he broke the race barrier,
Right.
and without him, we wouldn't have Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson
I
and Kareem. I get
understand
it.
all of that, but that's not the main...
He was a great player.
Right.
Let's not forget that.
I'll be honest with you. I think what Stephen A. said is more of an insult than a compliment.
Come on.
Because if you're trying to say that the only reason he was picked is because he was black, to me that's an insult.
I mean, come
I
on.
think it's more important to. I heard what he said.
was a great player.
I think it was more. I think it's more important to focus on the fact that he was a great
And I know
player.
what Stephen A's saying.
I understand where he was going to, but did he have to make it sound like
Of
that?
course he did. That's Stephen A. Smith, and I
Okay.
love him. But rest in peace, Earl Lloyd.
Right. We don't need to dwell on the fact that he was an African American player. We need to dwell on the fact that he was an awesome player.
You ready?
Ready?
The Pelicans beat the Heat and state their 4-game win streak. We were there.
Yes, we were.
Yvonne,
Was an awesome game.
simple question. Yvonne, what won this game for New Orleans? Simple question that I believe has a difficult answer. What won this game for New Orleans? Because it was not an easy game.
No, it was not an easy game.
104-102.
It was not, and we were down to the wire, and we were holding on to each other. It was a lot of things that won this game. I think Monty had a lot to do with it. Okay? I think Agenza had a lot to do with it. I mean, he was like, I wish he could play like that for every game. That was his all-time record of scoring for Agenza.
24-7.
Right. Okay. Miami gave us a good run.
Miami's a good team.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I mean, we were up and we were down. We were up and we were down. It was like that for the whole game. The biggest lead they ever had on us, I think, was 9 points.
Yeah, 9.
Yeah. Okay. Of course, you know, and we were without Drew, we were without Anthony, and we were without Ryan. Okay, and we did that. We played very well together and meshed as a team. I would love to give credit to my boy. Eric Gordon was awesome.
Okay. He was pretty good all game. And then he hit that big time 3 that tied it at 98.
Yeah. Eric Gordon was...
He's a clutch player. Always has been.
Oh, yes. And we should have made, right after Drew got hurt, we should have gotten Norris Cole back then.
Okay.
I think he's
I am
awesome.
shocked that you have not said. I thought you were going to say it right off the bat.
What?
What won this game for New Orleans is very, 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 very simple.
What?
Determination.
Oh, yeah.
In an up and down game like that has that many lead changes and that many ties, it comes down to who wants it
We
more.
wanted it.
Who wants it more?
Right.
New Orleans. It's that simple. Yeah, Alexia Jensen was great. Yes, Norris Cole was good. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. But who wanted it more? Obviously, the New Orleans Pelicans. I mean, it was very obvious. Okay? And that's what it comes down to in games like that. Who wants it more?
Right.
Determination. New Orleans is fighting for that 8th seed, which they're a half game from, by the way. That could be 8th tonight. Okay?
Right. Right. And I would like to make an announcement at this time that after last night's win,
Which we'll talk about
I know,
after this next topic.
5-game winning streak.
Final 2 topics. The first one, and you're going to enjoy this one. The NBA to publicize crunch time calls by officials. What this is doing and what this means.
Explain.
You are very fond of saying the final 3 minutes of a game.
Oh, that makes all the difference in the world.
Okay? There are sometimes calls that are made in these final 3 minutes that can have a lot of impact on the outcome of the game. Whether it was a 2-pointer or a 3-pointer.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was a technical or a flagrant foul. Whether it deserved 2 free throws, 3 free throws, or 1 free throw. Whether he was out of bounds or not.
Sure.
Can determine the outcome of the game.
Absolutely.
And they go to the replay review box for that.
Right.
Okay? What's going to happen? The NBA is going to put recorders. If I'm understanding this correctly, they are going to record. You know how the 3 officials get
Sure.
together?
Yeah.
They are going to record what these officials are saying. And they are going to make the officials say what led them to making that call. Are you with me so far?
Yes, of course.
The NBA is then going to release
No.
that information.
No.
Why?
No.
Agree or disagree, and why?
Disagree.
Why?
Because you could have, this is a perfect example of what you and I are doing right now. This is a perfect example. What you and I are doing right now. We can debate and discuss something, okay? You can have your opinion about something. You can have your opinion about something. I can have my opinion about something. We can talk about it. Nobody says that you're going to win me over to your side. Nobody says that I'm going to win you over to my side. Okay? We have more often than not, if it's a very controversial topic between you and I, we have agreed to disagree.
Mm-hmm.
And we leave it at that and walk away. When those 3 refs or officials meet on the court, what they discuss amongst themselves, especially after they pull up the screen or the TV and they look at the replay or they talk to the replay center, that should be something that is decided amongst the 3 of them and should not be information given out to the general public. That should be what's their job? If they have to tell, and if it's going to be to open scrutiny to the crowd? No, I disagree. I'm sorry. I disagree. I think that's their job. That's what they're paid for. I think that's the reason for the replay center. With all of those televisions up in the booth and everything, where you can see every play and every shot from every angle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what was the purpose of doing all that? If you're going to announce to the crowd...
No, they're going to release it the day after. They're going to release the information the day after the game happens.
What purpose will that...
I see your point of view, but let me open another door for you. Okay?
That's an after the
Wait.
fact thing.
Right. Wait.
That's like accusing a man of murder who's been on trial, and then after that, he's already in jail, he's already been sentenced. Then you're going to poll the jury and find out.
Wait. Let me open the door for you here. When we're at games, okay, and a call happens, and we ask ourselves, what the hell was that?
We wait for them to show it on the replay.
And we still don't know completely why they made that call. Sometimes there are still questions as to why they make that call. How is that a flagrant and not a technical? How is that how is that a technical and not a flagrant? We ask ourselves that all the time.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I am completely in favor of this. Because the fans deserve to know why a technical was called and not a flagrant.
Most of the time it's pretty obvious.
Most of the time. But sometimes it's not.
I totally
And you know what else this does? You know, in playoff games, because you're fond of saying this, wait. In playoff games, oh, somebody's paying these refs. How many times have we gone on there and said that?
Yeah.
This eliminates that.
But the play's already happened, the game's over, and it's the next day.
It doesn't matter. If the refs can't explain for basketball reasons why they made a certain call on the floor,
They're not going to go back and replay the game.
but they can fire the refs.
They're not going to give the win to the other team.
But they can fire the refs to further eliminate this.
That's why there's 3 refs on the floor, so
It
they
doesn't
can get
ma-
together and come to
So what?
a unanimous
What if all
decision.
3 refs were paid?
Oh no, I disagree with this.
This
That's
eliminates.
what you're paying them for. That's
No.
their job.
This eliminates bias. This eliminates that. Here you go. I'm gonna slip you some money to give us a call. Because if the refs can't come back the next day and say, okay, here's why we called it this way, using basketball terms, then obviously
Then
something's
you
going on.
obviously don't think that there's any kind of honor among referees or
I do.
in the NBA.
I do, but I also believe when DeAndre Jordan threw, when we went to see the Pelicans play the Clippers,
Right.
when DeAndre Jordan, I don't even remember what he did, but he threw one of our guys to the ground and
Yeah.
it wasn't called.
Right,
It deserved to be called, right?
right.
Don't you want to know why that wasn't called? Because that should have been some kind of foul, right? You deserve to know. Why the hell wasn't that called? That should have been called. I want to know why that wasn't called. And a call like that can decide a championship.
So you're trying to say that this is going to make the refs more honest.
It is. Because they're going to have to explain
just
it.
like in the NFL.
Because they're going to have to
like
explain it.
the microphones and the helmets and the
Right.
the cameras
Because
and the helmets.
they're
and
going to
the-
have to explain it. And if they can't explain why... And now this is not with every call. This is not with every call. These are with very controversial calls within the last 2 minutes of a contest.
Only within the last 2
Only
minutes
within
of
the
game?
last 2 minutes. Only.
Where the winning of that game
Yes.
is on the line.
Yes.
Oh,
The
I thought
refs-
it was for the whole game.
the refs-
I was about to say an hour and a half game is
The
going to take
refs-
3 hours.
Need to explain how they came to that call. The refs need to be able to explain. Because if they can't, there's obviously money being put down under the table, isn't there? Or there's something going on. Come on. Come on.
Do you realize?
If they
Do
yesterday,
you realize that the refs are going to boycott the games because they're not going to want to do this?
then they can leave. If you're not honest from you sign an oath as an official in the NBA. Legitimately, you sign an oath agreement to be completely honest and unbiased.
Of course.
And if you can't live up to that, you don't deserve
then
to have
obviously
this
you
job.
have something to hide.
You don't deserve this job. They should be required to explain how they came to a call.
I didn't realize it was only during the
Crunch
last
time.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Okay. Yes, because to this day, I would love to know what Chris Paul and that female ref had to say to each other out there on the floor.
Yesterday.
I would
Yesterday.
love to know what happened there.
Yesterday, when James Harden was called for a flagrant foul for kicking LeBron below the belt?
Yes, in the groin.
What if they would have called that a technical and not a flagrant? You'd be like, oh, bullshit!
You're right.
That's a flagrant!
Right.
Wouldn't you want to know how they came to that conclusion? As a fan, would your curiosity not peak?
Okay, who's this up to? This is going to be voted on or what?
Who's what up to?
Whether or not they're going to do this.
They're gonna do it.
Oh, it's
set in
definite.
stone.
For next season?
This season.
When's it going to start?
The playoffs.
Oh. So this is not something that's going to happen all season long.
No, it's gonna happen all season long, starting next season. But it's gonna start officially in the playoffs.
Well, that should be interesting.
If they would have called a technical on James Harden, wouldn't your curiosity peak as a fan to say, wait a minute.
No, I don't want to jump through the TV.
Right. You deserve to know why that wasn't a flagrant. Why was that just a technical?
Well, yeah, because if I'm paying $180 for a seat
that's correct. I deserve to have a game that's fairly called.
If I'm paying $180 to have a seat in the Smoothie King Center like the game that we just went to, and there's not a call being made that I think is right, I want to know why. Because I paid my money for my ticket.
I love this. Now, if this was for if this was for a call that was made a minute into the game, I'd be like, no, this is just robbing officials of their job. Okay? But this is for only 2 minutes. I love this.
Okay.
And this needs to be done to eliminate bias and to eliminate money exchange.
Okay.
I love it.
Well,
and
you won me over on this one.
And the Pelicans beat Denver last night, 99-92, to solidify a 5-game win streak. I want to know from you, what is different about this team from the beginning of the year? Can you pinpoint it?
Desire. The desire to win.
I agree, but I think it's something beyond that.
Desire. Cohesiveness as a team.
Mm-hmm.
Monty seems to be a lot more involved.
Bang! Right there.
Monty is not sitting on the sidelines anymore with his head in his hands, looking like he's balancing his checkbook. Ding, 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 ding. Different team from last year. The way he's acting with the team, the way he's treating the team, I see a different coaching skill.
I came in to this season in the preseason debate. Remember that debate that was 8 pages long?
Uh-huh.
Okay? That had 60 some odd topics on it?
Uh-huh.
Okay? We broke down every team.
Mm-hmm.
And that is our most viewed video on YouTube.
Really?
Is the preseason debate. Because we go into such grave detail.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But I think this one might win over everybody because this is a hell of a debate. Just saying.
Okay.
But for the Pelicans, and that was the last team we did, was our Pelicans.
Yeah.
Okay? I said that no matter how good Anthony Davis was this season, no matter how good the players were, this was a make or break season
For the coach.
for Monty
And his assistants.
Williams.
Absolutely.
And the first game of the season, when we blew out Orlando, I was like, oh yeah, here we go. But then we started the whole Pelicans deal. Up and down and up and down. And there was a point in the season, I think it was just about a month ago, when we had won 10 and lost 10. Win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. Wait, you remember that?
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, we don't have Anthony. We don't have Drew Holiday.
You know why?
We don't have Ryan
Because
Anderson.
sometimes it's like an alcoholic or a drug addict. Sometimes you have to hit rock bottom before you realize, you know what, I better pull myself up by my bootstraps or I'm going to go down with the ship.
Monty
And I
Williams.
think that Monty realized without 3-star players, if he didn't get on board and get his team unified and start making some good strategic plays, talking to the team and boosting their morale. He talks about them this year like he never talked about them last year.
Right.
Okay?
It's coaching.
And now that the rest of the team, I mean, it's not Anthony's fault that he got hurt. It's not Drew's fault that he got hurt. It's not Ron. It's not like they're sitting on the sidelines nursing a Bobo with a Band-Aid.
Right.
All right? But because of that, he realized, if I want these guys to get on board with me and we're going to have any kind of showing at all, I better be their morale booster.
It's him. It starts with the coach. All right. Pelicans outlook for this week.
You didn't ask me what else last night made me feel like. Terrified for tonight.
Well, Pelicans outlook.
I know.
Perfect introduction to the Pelicans
I
outlook.
know.
Tonight at
Terrified.
Dallas. Tonight at Dallas.
Yep.
Wednesday night at Detroit. Friday. No. Wednesday night at home against Detroit.
Yep.
Friday night at home against Boston, and then the next night at home against Memphis.
Yep.
If you look at the schedule, the one thing that stands out, and I said it earlier in the debate, was a getaway game. This is a getaway game tonight.
Yep.
Because the next 3 are at home, thank God. Because we're much better at home than we are on the road.
Yes, we're
Okay.
one of those home team games.
In my opinion,
Game winners.
in
yeah.
my opinion, 2 out of these 4 are very winnable. Detroit and Boston.
Yes.
Very winnable. Tonight, I'm not going to go on that limb and say that we're for sure going to win this game. I'm
No,
gonna
not
do it.
for sure, but it's possible.
It is
we
possible.
beat the Clippers. We beat San Antonio. We beat Miami.
It is possible.
It is possible.
It is possible.
And we were no better off for those games than we are now.
It is possible.
We had the same people out.
San Antonio, we had Anthony Davis.
Oh, okay.
But the point of it is that we need to
It's
beat Detroit.
doable.
We need to beat Detroit. We need to beat Boston. And we need to have a good showing against Dallas and Memphis. Okay? I think we have and this is going to sound
What
very
is our
strange.
biggest problem tonight?
The biggest problem tonight
Who's our biggest problem
is going to be
tonight?
finding a way. I don't think it's one player. I think it's a matter of can we keep up. Okay? And I don't like the matchup of Tyreek Evans and Rajon Rondo. I don't like that.
Who's going to be guarding? Who's going to be guarding Dirk?
A mixture of Ajinça and Ashik. And
No, well,
it's going to be a mixture.
but we can't leave anybody open.
We
They're
can't.
too good.
I know, but can we keep up? Can we play the team game? Can we keep up with these Dallas Mavericks?
So, in other words, to you, the biggest obstacle is keeping up with Rajon Rondo.
The biggest obstacle is keeping up with Dallas as a team.
I understand that,
But
you had
I
to single
I
out.
don't like the matchup of Evans against Rondo. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Well,
Okay?
it's going to be something to watch.
And this is going to sound crazy, but I think the more winnable game is at home against Memphis than it is tonight's game. Because you're at home. Because you have more confidence when you're at home. Because we played a tough one last night against Denver. Okay? And had to travel.
That, I think, is going to hurt us.
And had to travel.
I think.
That's why I
think the fact that we killed ourselves last night is going to reflect tonight.
That's why I think.
And then you travel on top of it. No, we didn't have to go far, but it's still traveling.
That's why I think the Memphis game is a more winnable game than this one tonight. Okay? Standings update, lastly. If the playoffs started today, in the East, the 1 seed Atlanta would play the new number 8 seed, Indiana. The 2 seed Toronto would play the 7 seed Miami. The 3 seed Chicago would play the 6 seed Milwaukee. And the 4 seed Cleveland would play the 5 seed Washington.
Wow.
In the West, Golden State would play the 8 seed. No, the number 1 seed Golden State would play the 8 seed Oklahoma City, who's only number 8 by half a game.
Yeah,
The
you
2
might
seed-
want to add in your scenario of speech right there that they're all like on top of each other by
The 2 seed,
tenths of degrees.
The 2 seed Memphis would play the 7 seed San Antonio. The 3 seed Houston would play the 6 seed Dallas. And remember that matchup we were talking about earlier in the debate? The 4 seed Portland
yeah.
would play the 5 seed Clippers.
Ooh.
Wow, how about that?
That's a game I want to see if that happens.
That concludes this week's edition of Full Court Press Basketball Debate. For Yvonne Juno, this is Chris Guyette. We'll see y'all next week.